Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me, this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name is Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you are not new to me, thank you for tuning in, the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. These are all my reading shenanigans between July 17th and July 23rd and everything that kind of falls in between. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so about this week, I'm just going to preface this. I didn't complete a single book this week. I didn't. So this wrap up really isn't a wrap up. It's more just a letting you know of where I'm at in the books that I've been reading this past week. I have been working on one audiobook and one physical book, and I know that sounds like, damn, Jackie, that's kind of pathetic. But you know what? It is. And I don't have an excuse for it, except I am really enjoying everything that I'm reading, even though I have not completed anything. I am still enjoying my experience, and that's when it all comes down to it. This is my hobby. I enjoy it, and I'm having a good time with it. So let's just talk about what I've accomplished in this week with the books that I have not finished, but am loving the fucking shit out of. All right? So the first book I have is The Revenant, a novel of revenge by Micheal Punke. This is what I am listening to on audio, but I'm also sort of following along with it in the physical copy. But I am listening to it on audio, and this book is insane. All right, it's insane. Every time I sit down and listen to this book, I am in more and more shock of what this man went through. This is the story of Hugh Glass. He's an American frontiersman who worked for the Rocky Mountain Fur Trading Company. And while on expedition to gather furs for the fur company, he was attacked and mauled by a gigantic ass fucking bear. Okay? A full-grown mother bear. Attacked by it. Now, he does kill the bear in the attack. And the captain of the expedition, when he comes to finds him, realizes that he is still alive, but barely. I mean, he has got a gash across his neck. He's got gashes across his back. It is just disturbing. There's blood. There's guts. There are broken bones. This man is going to die. Anybody looking at this scenario is going to think this man is going to fucking die, all right? No one thinks he's going to survive it. But they do administer some first aid. They do suture his neck up just a little bit because he's got this big, gigantic gash across his neck that apparently he is not bleeding out of. But they stitch that up. They try to stitch up his back a little bit. They try to set some stuff. And then the captain of the expedition has the torturous decision to take Hugh Glass along with the expedition and try to bring him home to the fort so that they can essentially bury him properly, or he can leave him in the hands of a few select individuals and wait for him to die, and then they can bury him, and then they can meet up with the rest of the company. The reason it is so detrimental to bring Hugh Glass along is because they have to cross a river, and the crossing point is too high to get Glass over, because Glass is literally prone, in the prone position the entire time. He cannot walk, he can't do anything, he needs to be carried. And nobody is strong enough to carry him over this river and still get themselves over with the tide, the tide of the river. The current, that's the word I'm looking for, the current of the river. It's too strong. And on top of that, they do have Indians out there that are hunting, and American frontiers and Indians are not on good levels right now. They're just not. And so there is that this fear factor going on. So the captain has to mull over this decision, and eventually he does decide to save the greater. He goes with a very utilitarian approach, sacrifice one for the safety of the many, and he asks for volunteers. 2 people volunteer to stay with Glass, knowing that they will get a payment of $70, which is a year's wages for the fur company, for staying behind. And the 2 that stay behind, one is strictly staying behind because he wants the fucking money. He's staying behind because of the money. And the other one, he's a young novice who Glass happened to befriend at one point in time, and so he decided to stay there as in some kind of framework of loyalty. The rest of the company leaves, and leaves Glass with these two men. And that's where our story really starts to spiral. Not the bear attack, not the moralistic decision, no. When Hugh Glass is left with these two fucking idiots. And when I say that, this is the reason why. We already know one guy here is a douchebag. We already know it, all right? The young boy tries to still administer some kind of medical treatment, tries to get bone broth down him, get him to eat something, tries to take care of him, until a raid of Indians shows up and they freak. So instead of saving their own ass and just leaving, okay, still cruel and unusual, you left a man to die. Granted, you were supposed to wait there till he died to bury him. We get it. You know, that's kind of a shit thing to say. But instead of saving your own ass and just leaving, no, we don't do that. We completely leave this man who has gashes in his throat and gashes on his back and cannot walk, can barely hold himself up, can't feed himself, can't do fucking anything. We're gonna take away his self-defense. They take his gun, they take his pack, they take his rations, they take his ammo, they take his knife, they take everything. He's literally left with just what's on his fucking body and a dull fucking razor blade. That's what these two assholes leave him with. And they run for their fucking hides. And then this just sets the story off. This revenge-fueled fight to survive. I mean, Hugh Glass is either one of the luckiest motherfuckers on the face of the damn planet, or there is somebody watching out for him and he was going to do great things, or he was going to be the minister of sweet revenge that was ordained by fucking God, okay? Because not only does he survive this, he crawls for 3 weeks. Crawls. He survives a rattlesnake attack, which he happened to find a rock next to him that he threw just perfectly to knock the rattlesnake out and kill it. So he takes a dull razor blade and cuts its head off and somehow tries to eat the meat from the rattlesnake, which I thought was gross. But you know what? Hey, you're in the wilderness, survival, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Gotta do what you gotta do. Crawls for 3 weeks, eats rotten bone marrow, which causes him to become violently ill. He survives that. He survives a wolf attack, trying to get a calf that they killed, try to get some actual fresh meat. He survives the elements. He survives blistering cold. To top it off, did I mention that he's crawling? I'm not even regular like baby crawling. I mean, he's dragging this like dead leg, dragging it along. This book is a survivalist's wilderness type of person's book. Oh my God, it's fantastic. I'm not even fucking done with it. And I'm already loving it. I want to sit there and absorb every single word that I hear in the audiobook. I just want to sit there and listen. So it's really hard for me to do other things while I'm listening to this book because I'm so engrossed in it, because I'm just in awe of this man and what he did for survival, and the fact that whenever he thinks he's going to give up, he thinks back to the looks on those guys' faces that left him, the fear on their faces. He said, the revenge that is just seeping in this book is just, this book is fucking phenomenal. And now I know why I got turned into a fucking movie. All right. Now, I saw the movie prior to reading this book. I actually picked up the book because I saw the movie and I really, really enjoyed it. But this, survivalists, wilderness guys, people who are just into that kind of genre, American historical fiction, frontier fiction. Oh my fucking God, this like hits so many freaking points. And it's fantastic. And guess what? There's even a little bit of romance in it. How cool is that? It has like, it kind of has everything. And I'm not even done with it. Yes. This thing is coming in at a strong 4 right now, and I'm like 65, 70% the way through it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it. But that's one reason why I'm not getting through it as fast, because I just want to sit there and absorb it. I want to like hang on every single word because it's fucking fantastic. It is fantastic, and I cannot wait to finish it. So hopefully I finish it very, very soon, but oh, it's great. It's great. I really, really enjoy it a lot. And my edition, my physical edition, so you have the dust jacket, but it has one of those surprise elements on it. It's got the bear claws scratched into it, and I just thought that was awesome, so I wanted to show that off. So yeah, it's great. So yeah, Revenant by Micheal Punke. There we go. And the last book that I have to talk about, and the only other book I have to talk about, is the physical book that I'm reading this week. And if you were following my Instagram stories, you saw that I went on a road trip. So my company for 5 hours was Diana Gabaldon's Dragonfly and Amber, Jamie Fraser. He is king. All right, he is. Now, I am not done with this. I'm not even halfway through. Well, maybe I'm a little over half. I don't know, maybe. But this is actually a reread for me. I've already read this book, so I know what happens. So you'd think I'd read a lot faster, and I don't want to. I really thought, I'm like, okay, I can bust this out in a week because I've already read it. I know what happens. And I'm on reread. I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Like, I know what big events happen, but like all these little nuances, I'm just like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. What the hell? I don't remember any of this. Oh my God. And I'm falling in love with this book all the fuck over again. So I'm so happy that I don't really remember anything from this book, because this is by far one of my favorite series of all time. I reread Outlander at the beginning of this year, but when I first read Outlander, it was probably a good solid 10 years ago, and I marathoned the series that was out at the time, so I just like flew through them. I could not get enough. I was just gobble, 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 gobble. It's like the Cookie Monster, but with Diana Gabaldon. Because who doesn't want to gobble up Jamie Fraser? I mean, does anybody not want to gobble up that man? I sure do. Sign me up for that. He is perfect. He's perfect. And I'm just re-falling in love with this whole series all over again. And so when I'm sitting here reading, I know what's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen because I'm rediscovering all these things that I forgot. And I'm just like, it's like rereading it for the first time. It's fantastic. And you don't really get that with a lot of rereads. You don't always get that cool experience with it. And I'm just, I'm loving it. I am loving it. Currently, I do have plans to finish this series to the most recent release. I like to have it done by the end of the year, but with as slow as I'm taking, I don't know that's gonna happen. But we're gonna give it a go. We're still gonna try it. But yeah, I forgot so much of the beginning book because I forgot. Apparently, in my mind, the events of these books are they're flipped. The end of Outlander and the beginning of this. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why the fuck is she already home? What? I don't remember this. And then it dawned on me as I was reading, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Holy shit. It's such a cool experience. It really, really is. And I'm just having a great time with it. But this book, Outlander, read really fast for me because it's fucking Outlander, and by far out of the entire series, Outlander is actually still my favorite. Now, that was on the first read, okay? So on a reread, it might be a different book. But right now, Outlander was always my favorite of the series, and it's still my favorite, so I just fly through that one because it's Jamie Fraser and Claire's beginnings, and I just, oh my God, I cannot be obsessed with that. They are like, perfection. And I remember this being actually my least favorite of the series when I did my first read through, my general read through. I remember this being my least favorite, and now I'm kind of wondering why. Because this is awesome. It was always good, but I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think, like, why did I think that this was my least favorite? I don't remember why, but I remember just always thinking this was my least favorite of the series. I just don't remember why, and I'm sitting here reading and I'm like, I'm fucking loving this. I don't understand why this is my least favorite, but maybe when I reread the series, I'll remember, or my opinions will have changed because I'm much older now than when I first read these books. But I love it. It's fucking Jamie Fraser and Claire. I mean, you can't beat them. You can't. And seeing that this is the second installment, I can't really talk about the book if you've not read the first one. So all I can say is if you have not read Outlander, which is right here, if you have not read this book, stop what you're doing. Go find the copy of this book, audio, Kindle, physical, whatever, and fucking read it. And then come back and let me know, and then you and I will talk about this one. And by that time, I'll probably have it finished, so we can really hardcore flesh it out. But yeah, if you've not started this series ever, go fucking start it, because this is excellent, fucking beautiful, whole series is fucking stunning. It's fucking Outlander. I don't really know what else I could say about it, except I think everybody should read this book. Everybody. Because it's got science fiction, it's got historical fiction, it's romance, and you've got one of the best alphas ever, which is Jamie Fraser. I mean, he is just enough alpha, just enough beta, just enough of everything to be perfect. And and I realize in this book, oh my God, I realized again how kind of dark Jamie was, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that he's kind of like that. Like, he's not always the nicest guy. He's kind of like my alpha guy that I'm like obsessed with. It's a little bit, yep. I want to fall at your knees and worship you, but at the same time, I want to use you in every way I possibly can, and I want to possess you, and I'm just like, I fucking forgot you were like this. Oh my God, I love it. I love you so much. That's why he's fucking king, okay? That's why he's fucking king. So, that's what I got for you guys this week. That's my weekly wrap-up, or I guess in this case, my weekly letting you know where the fuck I am with my 2 books that I've still been reading since last week. And I will see you guys all soon with another video. Bye, guys.